Hello and welcome back. And it's another day, and yet there are still no presents under my desk tree here. So I don't know if you've noticed, but we got a little Christmas tree here on my desk. And I keep looking to see if there's any presents under there, and every day I'm disappointed. But, maybe Christmas. Maybe Christmas. So let's go ahead and dive into our Maker Highlights. Now this is a segment of the show where we get to highlight some of the really cool projects that have been worked on by students here at Zen or by makers around the world. And we got some really exciting ones coming up today, so let's go ahead and dive into them. So first up, we have Arman's Sponge Bill Rectangle Pants, okay, for copyright reasons. So this was a character that was done by Arman. And here he is actually using pixel art, which is one of the tools that you'll learn about in one of our drop-in programs if you do the Steam Sampler or if you do some of the animation programs as well. And yeah, for Arman's age, he did a really good job of on his character Sponge Bill here. Like he's got all the features. He's got like Sponge Bill's tie. He's got like the little collar of his shirt, that white line that goes across. So he's got a lot of detail in here. We've even got a little bit of like white at the ends of the sleeves. So he's got your sleeve, and then there's like a little white cuff or something that's sort of showing at the ends there. And I kind of like his eyes. They're like super weird. He's got like one going forward and then one kind of going out like this. So that's kind of that's kind of interesting. And the perspective for his nose too was done really, really well. Yeah, so I like this guy. I would hang out with him. There's an episode of SpongeBob where SpongeBob creates Doodlebob, if you've ever seen that. And this kind of reminds me of Doodlebob. So you can go ahead, you can Google that one. What is it? Doodlebob. You can search Doodlebob, but he kind of reminds me of SpongeBob. Anyways, really good job, Arman, on your Sponge Bill. Very cool. And we've even got a little animation there of you drawing his teeth, which is good. It's important to brush your teeth, make sure that you can continue to eat apples and fresh fruit, and stay a healthy and active citizen. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to our next project, which is Emily's Penguin. And this one's pretty cool. We get to go ahead and take a closer look at this project. So let's go ahead and do that. So this was a project that was made during one of our in-school programs, I think. So this one was pretty cool. We got to go into a school and do a bunch of really cool 3D design work. And Emily did a fantastic penguin that we wanted to showcase here today. So this is Emily's penguin. And of course, he's got all the essential things that most penguins need. He's got a beak for food and water. He's got feet to waddle towards his shelter. What's the other thing you need? It's food, water, and shelter. Oh, of course, he's got food and water. Okay, there you go. He's got everything he needs to survive, hopefully, is it the North Pole or the South Pole? Maybe somebody can tell me. I always forget. Is it the North Pole or the South Pole? I'm thinking North Pole because Santa Claus, right? Right? Okay, I don't know. Maybe it's elves in the North Pole, penguins in the South Pole. Okay, but this is a really cool character, and we can take a quick look at how it was made. So these arms here are actually just spheres that have been sort of flattened down. The feet there are these beautiful little roofs, and she's colored them orange. And we've got a blue penguin, which is pretty cool. I don't know if blue penguins are real, but I hope they're real. And for the eyes, again, it looks like we're using some spheres. And that tummy is pretty interesting because that is just sort of an offset sphere that's a little bit smaller and a different color to make like the white tummy of the penguin. But all in all, this is a very good penguin, Emily. So thank you so much for letting us share it here on the show. So let's go ahead now. We're going to transition into our engineering tributes. So this is a segment of the show where we give a little tribute, a little shout out to an engineer, researcher, mathematician that has bettered society or research as a whole. And today we're taking a look at Robert Noyce, who is one of the founders of Intel. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the things that he's done. So first things first, Robert Noyce is actually known for inventing the monolithic integrated circuit. So these are some really complex, crazy circuits that we're actually sort of just etching out of these big discs, okay? So these big discs of silicone. Seeing how silicone wafers get created is pretty cool. I can see why Robert Noyce wanted to work with them so much throughout his life. They come out as like these big, huge rods, and they have to be kept super sanitized and sanitary, and you don't want to have any dust or anything falling on these things, because all the little components, all the little etchings that you do are super small, and those little dusts and things can actually affect them and ruin them. So yeah, it's really fascinating. And they've got all these kinds of really cool reflective properties. So that's why we see in the bottom right there, we see a wafer and it's got kind of this rainbowy pattern. Well, that's because all those little etchings reflect light at different wavelengths. So it's pretty cool. Again, he founded Intel, and a little bit about him as a kid. He was a troublemaker and an aviator. Thank you, Robert Noyce, for all that you've done. Don't go anywhere, because up next we've got an interview with a fantastic guest. We're very excited to have him on the show. So I'll let Siri introduce him. See you there.